Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to the live recap of WWE NXT for September 18th, 2019. This was the first 2-hour edition of NXT, with the first hour being live on the USA Network and then the second hour being live on the WWE Network. Now, there were some technical difficulties with the WWE Network. A lot of people had trouble watching that second hour. I'm here to recap the video. If you can, please share this video, share this live stream with somebody on Facebook, Twitter, tell a friend. Word of mouth can really go a long way. I would very much appreciate spreading the word. I will be here every Wednesday night. Next week, I'll be recapping NXT again, and then starting October 2nd, I will be recapping AEW every single Wednesday night. This is the fourth straight night of live streaming, and there will be a minimum of 3 live streams every week, plus the fourth one when they're pay-per-view. So definitely got a lot of wrestling to discuss. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Let's go ahead and get started. We kicked off with Triple H, of course, the father of NXT, you could say. Triple H did this promo, talked about how things can change in the blink of an eye, and don't blink tonight. He said that NXT, they're not just the future, they are the now. He talked about how it's all about the passion and the pride. They are unapologetic. And he said that we are NXT, we are live. Triple H then walked out to the ring, and you had the crowd going crazy, chanting NXT. Full Sail University, which will be the home of NXT moving forward, as it has been for many years now. We had Mauro Ranallo open us up. We had Nigel McGuinness and Beth Phoenix doing commentary. The first match of the evening was a fatal 4-way match to determine Shayna Baszler's next challenger for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae. Really solid match to kick off the 2-hour era. All of them looked good. All of them got their moves in before the first commercial break. We had the NXT chants. We came back right away. When we came back from commercial, there was the 4-way Tower of Doom. Just nonstop action here. Candice ended up hitting a reverse Hurricane Rana and then a springboard moonsault to pick up the victory, and she will now challenge Shayna Baszler in 2 weeks, October 2nd, which also happens to be the AEW on TNT debut. We had Shayna Baszler and the henchwomen. I guess they're the henchwomen now. They came out. They stared down at Candice LeRae, a little bit of intimidation. Shayna held up the championship. I'm happy Candice won, and maybe, just maybe, Candice gets the title. I don't know. I don't know if Shayna's going to be called up. You know, I've talked about this for several months. People have been asking, when will Shayna Baszler go to the main roster? I mean, pretty much everyone's attitude now is that NXT is a main brand, and there's no need to call up Shayna Baszler. I don't see her being called up anyways to Raw or SmackDown until Ronda Rousey comes back. So Candice might not get the championship just yet. Big G with a $2 super chat, and he says, no one will defeat his girl, Shayna. Well, Shayna's got to lose it eventually. Nobody's retired as champion, to my knowledge. Somebody always ends up losing the championship. Well, Edge, I guess you could say, did retire as world champion, but I sense somebody's going to beat her eventually. I don't know if it's going to be Candice LeRae or not, but only time will tell. We had some quick video packages, which I did appreciate. It kept the flow of the show moving nicely, and you also hyped up the segments. You had an Adam Cole video package, and then you had clips of Velveteen Dream and Roderick Strong getting ready for their North American Championship match. We had a video package for Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee to set up their match for next week's show. got to hype up something for next week. We all know the real big show is in 2 weeks, but they do have a show next week, so they gotta have something big for next week. We had Cameron Grimes, who is formerly Trevor Lee from Impact Wrestling, defeating Sean Malata, and this match literally went 8 seconds. You had Cameron Grimes hit the knee to the chest, or double knees, whatever it was, and that was it. One move, bam, match over. I thought this was fine, do something a little unexpected on the show. You can have a quick squash match. I mean, I don't see the problem with it. I know everyone's got to have their wrestling fix, but yeah, I was fine with this, build up Cameron Grimes, have him win 8 seconds, something to talk about. Cool, no problem here. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, is 205 Live more over than EC3? Man, you guys in EC3, you torture the poor guy. Yes, 205 Live is more over than EC3. I mean, there's no EC3's Life Matters video. At least I haven't seen one, so there you go. We had another hype video for Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong. And I have to ask you guys, I need to know this. Where is the best place to pick up a pizza? Because I just can't think of one off the top of my head. It's just, I thought I had something, but I lost it. So let me know in the chat, where is the best place to pick up a pizza? All right, we had a Damian Priest promo, very quick. Only about 10, 15 seconds, keep it short and sweet. Like Triple H said, do not blink. We had the Velveteen Dream defending the North American Championship against Roderick Strong. And I agree with you, Uthman Rules. Frankenson pizza, can't go wrong with that in Paterson, New Jersey. So Velveteen Dream came out, and Mauro Ranallo was making a bunch of Prince references. The Dearly Beloved, We Are Here to Celebrate Life, which is a Prince song, and the Doves Cry song. He said, this is what it sounds like when Velveteen flies instead of when doves cry. So, just making all the Prince references. Strong dominated early. Dream made his big comeback, got some near falls. Crowd was chanting, this is wrestling. Strong got the Boston Crab on, but Velveteen Dream got to the ropes. And at this point, we had the Undisputed Era come out, and they're all champions. You got the tag team champions, and of course, Adam Cole is the NXT World Champion. And then you had a referee bump. Referee got knocked down, so you knew something was going down, some kind of shenanigans. You had Velveteen Dream hit the Dream Valley Driver, and then he started taking out the Undisputed Era members, but it just ended up being too much. Roderick Strong hit the backstabber, the heartache, end of heartache, I think that's what it's called, the backstabber move he does. Dream kicked out, and then Dream hit another DVD, but then Adam Cole super kicked Dream when the referee was still recovering, and that's when you had Strong hit a second end of heartache, and he picked up the victory to become the new NXT North American Champion. All members of Undisputed Era have championship gold. And this concluded the first hour of NXT. I thought it was really solid. You had a title change. You had a quick 8-second match. The women's match was good. Very solid first hour to kick off NXT, the 2-hour era. And then we went over to the WWE Network for the second hour, and this is when technical issues kicked in for a lot of people. Fortunately, I did not have any problems, so I was able to watch the entire second hour. But a lot of people were having problems logging into the WWE Network. Their passwords were not working. There was a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches. I did a poll. About 65% of the people on NoDQ Twitter said that they were having problems. So I'm guessing quite a few people missed a good chunk of that second hour. I don't understand why WWE did not just do both hours on USA Network. I don't understand why this happened. It should have just been 2 hours USA Network, bam, that's it. Making people switch to the network. And now people are just going to be frustrated. So, this could have potentially driven away new viewers, the fact that they had to do this and then they're dealing with technical problems and they're going to be like, why bother? But some people were able to see it. On the WWE Network, they started off by doing a recap of the first hour, showing the big moments. And then we had Pete Dunne versus, and I'm probably going to butcher his name here, Arturo Ruas, I think is how you pronounce his name, but I might be wrong on that. This was pretty much like your standard weekly NXT match, basically a showcase for Pete Dunne. Arturo got a few moves in here and there, but the point of this match was to build up Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne used the joint manipulation, and Ruas had his boots off. He was wrestling barefoot, so Pete Dunne did the manipulation to the toes, and then did the finger manipulation, which was a submission, and you had Pete Dunne go over here. Good stuff. And then you had another standard NXT match. You had Xia Li, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's being billed as the first female Chinese WWE superstar versus Aliyah with Vanessa Bourne. A little bit of a sloppy match. I think there was a botch when Xia Li was going up to the top rope, and it looked a bit rough. She was trying to get the crowd into her, and actually by the end, they were starting to get into her. The crowd was really hot for the entire show, and they were very forgiving for any botches on this show. Xia Li picked up the win with, I believe, a tornado kick. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. And then we had what was supposed to be a one-on-one match between, some of these names I'm going to butcher, I know it, Denzel DeJournette, something like that, against Kushida. However, they were interrupted. Their match was interrupted before it could even begin, before Kushida could even get out there. You had Imperium, which is the faction from NXT UK, the top faction led by the NXT UK champion Walter. They came in. It was just the other guys from Imperium. They came out, beat the hell out of Denzel. Crowd was chanting, "We want Walter. Where is Walter?" And finally, Walter came out. Crowd popped big for Walter. Walter cut a promo saying that they are going to restore the honor and tradition of their sport. This led to Kushida coming out. He was pissed off that they took his time, and he said that their time belongs to him now. He got in the ring, took on all four guys, and managed to get a few shots on all of them before taking off just to send a message to them and basically challenging Walter for a match at some point. So it looks like the NXT UK guys are now being implemented into the regular NXT brand. Next up, we had a number one contenders match for the the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. So again, looks like the 205 Live, the Cruiserweight division from WWE, is going to be implemented into NXT. You had Oney Lorcan versus the returning Lio Rush. I believe this was his first appearance in a good 5 to 6 months. Last time we saw him, he was managing Bobby Lashley, but there was all this backstage drama with Lio Rush. He disappeared from TV. He was hurt, but he's back now. He's back to being a babyface. And this was an excellent match. If you guys did not see this match, I highly recommend it. To me, this was the match of the night. Lio Rush is just fantastic. Lorcan got a hot start on him. Rush came back, did all of his big moves. He did this awesome looking springboard, and then he went backwards back into the middle of the ring and hit a Stone Cold Stunner. That looked great. He ended up jumping off the top rope and selling his knee, and that led to Lorcan putting on a single leg crab. He ended up putting a second one on and then got an STF, and Lio Rush somehow managed to get to the ropes. And then Lio recovered. He slapped Lorcan, and Lorcan just completely, his eyes were just bugging. I love his facial expressions. Great stuff by Lorcan. Lorcan just got furious. He started beating the piss out of Leo. Leo countered that with a Spanish fly and then hit a frog splash to pick up the victory. Again, great match here. And now at some point we are going to get Lio Rush versus Drew Gulak for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Rush was great here. I mean, say what you will about the guy. He apparently has some maturity issues, some backstage drama, but the guy can really go. I mean, he is really a phenomenal athlete. And I definitely recommend checking out this match, like I said. Then we had the main event of the evening, which was the street fight between Matt Riddle and Killian Dane. They went right at it from the get-go. Dane just went right after Riddle, right when the bell rang. They started brawling in the crowd. They started going into the backstage area. They ended up outside the building by the production truck. And then there was a little table set up. Imperium, they were just chilling there, kicking back, doing what the UK people do, sipping tea or something. I don't know. But you had Riddle and Dane getting a little too close to Imperium, and then all of a sudden Walter attacked Riddle, and then Imperium jumped on Riddle. Street Profits made the save, and then we had the Forgotten Sons come in, and then pretty much everyone got involved in this huge Pier 6 brawl. Everyone was fighting. They started fighting in the ring. The crowd was chanting, "Let them fight," because the security guys came out. Security guards got beat up, got suplexed by Matt Riddle. Killian Dane did a running dive onto everyone on the outside, including the security guards. And then the show went off the air. Great ending to NXT. We did not get a finish for this match, which was supposed to be pinfall or DQ only. And they did end the show 10 minutes early. And I'm not sure why yet, but NXT did go off the air 10 minutes. So technically it was a 1 hour and 50-minute show with a bunch of Pizza Hut commercials during that USA hour. So that was the first NXT episode. Really solid stuff. I wouldn't say it was a perfect show, but I would say it was damn good. You got the title change. You got a great Cruiserweight match. You got the Fatal 4-Way women's match, which was really solid, set up the #1 contendership. So you did have a lot of things happening during the show. I would have liked to have seen maybe at least one, or maybe two WWE people show up, like a Kevin Owens or just Cesaro, somebody, just something, or maybe just a surprise appearance by somebody we haven't seen before. But overall, really solid effort. I'm going to give it an A-. I don't think it was a perfect first show, but I thought it was really solid nonetheless. And if they can keep, the question is, can they keep it consistent with the 2 hours every week? Can they keep it fresh? Can they keep the storylines moving? For the first week, very, very good effort from them. So yeah, I'm going with an A-. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, who's more over, EC3 or Nickelback? Well, Nickelback, I like Nickelback. I know some people say they're the worst band of all time, but I don't mind Nickelback. So Nickelback's got to be more over than EC3. Michael Wayne gives the show an A. Chat site forums with an A. The Game is on 100 with an A-. Mike B with an A. Luis Ortiz with an A. CC Drink with an A-. Radical Velocity with an A-. Jeremy Dorset with an A-. Cleaver Colin Andrew with an A. Supernamic 2121 with an A+. And Great Tribulation with a B. Kev Dog with an A-. So pretty much all A or A-. I'm even seeing a couple of A+ in here, a few B's, but yeah, I haven't seen any C's. So yeah, overall, very positive response to the first 2 hour NXT. Hopefully the technical problem is not an issue again next week. And then of course, starting October 2nd, it will be 2 hours. And some people told me that there was an AEW commercial. I did not see it. So I think it was only in certain markets where people were getting the AEW commercials. Darius Jefferson is like, can we just drop the EC3 nonsense? LOL, the guy is dead weight. And the game is on 100 with a $2 super chat says, everybody is more over than EC3. Pretty much. Now, I do want to ask you guys in the chat room, if you were to make any suggestions for the NXT brand, anything that you think could bring in new viewers, what would it be? I'm throwing it out to you guys. This is the interactive end to this video where I want to get your guys' input. What do you think can help build NXT and get more people watching? Psycho Jet Black says, don't ever bring Vince McMahon in. Well, there you go. I mean, without Vince McMahon's creative genius, can NXT build up their viewership? Can they get 1.5, 2 million viewers? Do you guys think it can happen? Do you feel that NXT can ever branch out to the mainstream? And if so, what is it going to take? Do you think what they're doing now, word of mouth over time, they can build? What do you guys think? Jeremy Dorset says, new match concepts. Nelson says, get in touch with Twitch culture. Well, that worked wonders for Impact Wrestling. Yeah. Noah Foster says, do Nakamura versus Kushida, build international interest. Colin Andrews says, bring on Cesaro. Darius Jefferson says, they have a lot of questionable talent in AEW right now, so I refuse to watch. If NXT gives us a good show with no backstage politics, it will be a good thing. Christopher Mace wants to see Cesaro and Cassius Ohno as a tag team. Noah Foster thinks they should bring Samoa Joe back down there. Psycho Jet Black says bring back Asuka. Radical Velocity says have showcase matches, main roster versus NXT. Tic Tat Tat says bring back EC3. And Brando the Gaming Championship says put EC3 in NXT. Christopher Mace wants to see Ricochet back in NXT. So some of you are suggesting bringing some of the main roster guys in for matches. Supernamic2121 says Kevin Owens joined the Undisputed Era. And Psycho Jet Black says bring in Rift Aronson. Yeah, I don't know about that one. All right, so one more prediction from you guys. I want to know, I'm putting you guys on the spot here. How many viewers do you think this week's NXT is going to get? We should have the numbers Thursday afternoon. What do you think it's going to do? SmackDown this week did a little over 2 million, and Raw did 2.3 million. So what do you guys think it's going to do? Noah says 800K. Christopher Mace says 800K. 500,000 from Marcus. Psycho Jet Black says 500,000. Supernamic2121 says 1.1 million. Nelson, very bold prediction, says 2 million. Israel Diaz with 700K. Radical Velocity 800K. Kev Dog 750K. D-Ross 2 1.5 million. Colin Andrew with 1.1 and Michael Wayne with 1 million. So my prediction, I put on twitter.com/AaronRift. My prediction was I think they're going to do just over 1 million. I think, especially with all the hype on Raw and SmackDown, all the commercials, I think there will be curiosity views. As Christopher Mace pointed out, a good comparison, a good indicator of what they're going to do. In December 2017, they did have an NXT special on the USA Network. That did 841,000 viewers. So with all the hype, all the commercials on Raw and SmackDown, I think they'll cross 1 million. I don't think it's going to be by much. So I'm feeling it's going to be 1 million to 1.1 million, somewhere in that ballpark. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain that number, however, especially when AEW debuts. And as I mentioned on that tweet, I think the first week between NXT and AEW, I think AEW and NXT are going to be very close. I think it's going to be like 800,000 for one and 700,000 for the other. I think AEW will take a chunk of NXT's audience, and I do think the number is going to drop next week a little bit. So maybe like 950,000, 900,000, something like that. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, bring Scott Steiner as NXT's new general manager. I would like that. Like, I'd love to see, I know they have William Regal in the role, but I'd love to see like another WWE legend come in just to shake things up a little bit, you know, just to help with the viewership. And who knows, we may get it. If the numbers are disappointing, we may start seeing. I mean, the question is, how long until Vince's fingerprints are on this? Because if the numbers don't deliver, I could see they're starting to be panicked. And that's when Vince is like, we got to bring in these guys. We got to do this. We got to do that. So the question is, what does USA Network consider to be a doable number? So that remains to be seen. You would think they would be able to do over 1 million, because I think Miz and Mrs. that does over 1 million, and even Total Divas at its peak was doing 700,000-800,000, I think. So you would think, you know, when there's an actual wrestling show, that they're going to be able to clear at least 1 million. So that's it for this week. Solid first effort from NXT. Very enjoyable show. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please click on the subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you guys can get updates as they become available. And stay tuned. The NoDQ review will be coming up very soon. And that's all I got for this week. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your viewership and support. And have a great night. Take care, everybody.